North Korea, also known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, is a country that intrigues and worries many people around the world. Behind a name that highlights its governance lies a complex and often dark reality. This place, once full of promise, now faces significant challenges like extreme poverty and international isolation. Let's dive deeper into this enigmatic country, exploring the details that define life within its borders and what it means for those who try to leave. This video provides an in-depth look into the most closed-off nation on the planet. Located in East Asia, North Korea occupies the northern part of the Korean peninsula, with Pyongyang as its main capital. Covering an area of about 120,540 square kilometers, this country is surrounded by influential nations and key regions. To the north, it shares borders with China and Russia, while to the south it is separated from South Korea by the Korean Demilitarized Zone, a highly monitored strip of land. Additionally, to the east, the waters of the Sea of Japan, also known as the East Sea, lie between it and Japan, completing the geopolitical picture of this enigmatic nation. North Korea is known for its predominantly mountainous landscape, with hills and plateaus covering about 80% of its territory. This terrain is marked by narrow, deep valleys nestled between mountain ranges that stretch across the country. The region experiences 4 distinct seasons, ranging from freezing winters to humid summers, with mild spring and fall in between. Due to the mountainous terrain, coniferous forests, including pines and firs, are a common sight both at higher altitudes and in the lower areas. Despite being on the same peninsula, South Korea boasts a distinct and rich biodiversity, although it has faced challenges due to deforestation. This has led to a significant decrease in animal species like deer, mountain goats, and large predators like tigers and leopards. However, it is still possible to spot remarkable birds like the red-crowned crane, one of the rarest in the world, and a symbol of luck and loyalty in Korean culture. This majestic bird inhabits wetlands, such as swamps and riverbanks, and can also be seen in rice fields, blending into the local environment. North Korea is a country with about 25 million people, characterized by a notable ethnic homogeneity. Aside from small groups of Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, South Koreans, and a few Europeans, the population is predominantly Korean. One of the most striking aspects of this country is its relatively low life expectancy. With an average of only 63.8 years, North Korea ranks far behind in global comparisons, positioned at 139th out of 191 countries. This life expectancy is in stark contrast to that of South Korea, where citizens live on average up to 72 years. Additionally, North Korea struggles with high infant mortality rates, reaching an alarming 51.34%, which reflects the harsh living conditions and health challenges faced by its people. Infant mortality in North Korea is disproportionately high, about 2.5 times higher than that of China, 5 times that of Russia, and 12 times higher than that of South Korea. When it comes to language, both the north and south of the Korean peninsula speak Korean, but with differences in dialects. South Korea, being more open to external influences, incorporates many modern and foreign words into its vocabulary. In contrast, North Korea strictly controls external influences on its language, keeping a more traditional lexicon. North Korea's history is deeply tied to its political context. After Japan's surrender in World War II in 1945, the Korean peninsula was divided into 2 zones of influence, the north under Soviet administration and the south under American administration. This division marked the beginning of very different political paths for the 2 Koreas. In 1948, North Korea was established as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and adopted the Juche philosophy, which emphasizes self-reliance and complete independence from the outside world. The country is governed by a one-party system, led by the Democratic Front for the Reunification of the Fatherland. This front is a coalition that includes the Workers' Party of Korea, along with 2 smaller parties, the Korean Social Democratic Party and the Chondoist Chongu Party. Since its founding, the country's leadership has remained within a single family. Kim Il-sung was the first leader, and after his death he was immortalized as the Eternal President, as the position of president was abolished. The elevation of Kim Il-sung to an almost divine status was cemented when he was named Eternal President after his death. His son, Kim Jong-il, then took over the state's leadership, and currently the government is in the hands of Kim Jong-un, his youngest son. North Korea's political system is highly centralized, reflecting this family succession in power. Defecting from North Korea is considered an act of betrayal with severe consequences. The government enforces extreme penalties, including death, for those who attempt to escape the country. Moreover, if someone does manage to flee, their remaining family members can be punished up to the third generation. Those who are caught during an escape attempt face torture and harsh punishments. North Korea's economy is tightly controlled by the government, which sets all production guidelines and directs the country's economic growth. Trade with the outside world is extremely limited, keeping the economy operating on a very small scale. According to United Nations statistics, North Korea ranks 122nd in the Global Gross Domestic Product (GDP) ranking, with a GDP per capita of just $1,847, totaling around $28 billion. These numbers are striking, especially considering that there was a time when the country enjoyed a much more favorable economic situation. For several decades, North Korea made a name for itself in various sectors like politics, economy, technology, and military power, often being seen as an example of a socialist state. From the end of the Korean War until the 1970s, the country experienced a period of significant economic growth. However, this phase of expansion didn't last under Kim Il-sung's leadership due to a series of questionable economic decisions and inefficient management, which led to an economic decline. One of the most critical issues North Korea faced was prioritizing military development over other areas, with a particular focus on nuclear capabilities. This led to the establishment of key infrastructure, such as the Punggye-ri nuclear test site. Although it was shut down in 2018 when Pyongyang announced a moratorium on testing, the site was reactivated and recently hosted the country's 7th nuclear test, which resulted in a 2.5 magnitude earthquake. Contrary to the image of total isolation that many people have of North Korea, the country is starting to show a surprising cultural vitality. Far from being a completely restricted and controlled territory, North Korea offers a range of sophisticated experiences, from lively festivals to a buzzing nightlife and intriguing tourist spots, aspects that are rarely explored by mainstream media. Additionally, North Korea has become a popular tourist destination for visitors from China, Russia, and Japan, mainly because of its accessibility. On the other hand, South Koreans and Americans face significant challenges in obtaining a visa, making it nearly impossible for these groups to visit the country. One of the most iconic places is Mount Kumgang, or Kumgangsan, which, despite some easing of travel restrictions, is still subject to fairly strict rules. If you're interested in discovering more about the lesser-known and fascinating aspects of destinations like North Korea, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll keep exploring unique places and sharing insights that challenge common perceptions. Subscribe so you don't miss out on our upcoming adventures and discoveries.